Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robert with Sherburne Outdoors, and it's October 4th, 2025, which means we are getting into diesel heater season. And we are starting off with a bang. I have done reviews with WIPPRO. This will be my third year. We started off with these older units that you kind of put together that had the rear exhaust and everything came out of the bottom. I think that was in 2023. In 2024, they made big strides here with a pretty new design. It was almost like a tank. It was pretty lightweight, made of aluminum, very fuel efficient, and they made bigger strides, which we'll get into in 2025. And now we have color options. We've got red, green, and white, which is crazy. Who knew diesel heaters were fashionable? I remember when we used to get kits and put these in like wood boxes or cases and really build your diesel heater, and you were kind of concerned of the construction and stuff. But today this is very streamlined, out of the box, all-in-one units. Quick disclaimer, WIPPRO did send these to me to test out. I did not purchase these, but I will be giving all of these away. So stay around at the end of the video for instructions on how to register for the giveaway. We will be announcing this on October 31. So if we look at this, again, I was talking about how we did this old one. Here's a video to that from 2023, and this was last year's. Here's a video link to that, where we did a pretty deep analysis of these, and they were just cutting edge at the time. Now, the market has been flooded with new vendors, and they're doing all kinds of stuff that we've been testing this year, from waterproof to great mobile apps. This is sticking to the basics. This is your what I would call a vanilla diesel heater. It will get you to where you need to be. It's very reliable, and it is built to last the long haul. It doesn't have all the frills and stuff of some of the other ones, but it has all the basic necessities of what you need. So if we're looking at why do you need a diesel heater? So people like me love to go camping in the winter, and I mean, I'm out there in 15 degrees. I don't want to be miserable. So one of these is great that I can run the tubes up into my tent. Here's some pics of that you can see. And I've been out when it's snowing, it's 15 degrees, and we've got Starlink, and we're watching college football. So you can make winter camping more like glamping, but I like to do it in the middle of nowhere where it takes four-wheel drive to get to it. If you got a shed, like I've got one back there, we have a diesel heater in it for the winter so that I'm out there. And so that's kind of why you need these things, where you don't have a heat source there. You may not want to hook up something very expensive. This is a low-cost way of doing that. And now these particular ones right here are very low cost these days. These are $219.90 on Amazon. There's a link below. And then they have a coupon code you can click on there that I saw as of today anyway, that they're showing these for $189.90. So again, link in the description to get to all this stuff. But these are all-in-one units. We'll do some testing in a bit, but all I did was put diesel fuel in and hit go. No smoking, no anything. It just started, it sequenced, and we did some testing. So pretty neat stuff. Love the colors. Actually kind of liking the green. I wasn't sure I'd be into the colors, but I kind of am. So we will go through all of this stuff. These are very similar to the 2024 model. If you look at them, I don't think you notice any differences other than color. There's a few things I would say. First things first, it is a tank. This is built to last. It is very indestructible, I would say, but it's not that heavy. It's only 17.6 pounds. It does have an 8-liter tank. It is an 8-kilowatt unit, so it does put out a lot of heat. That is one difference from last year, even though that was an 8-kilowatt as well. These are much hotter, and we'll get into that. For fuel efficiency, it's not always about time. Sometimes it's about volume. It'll run on 12 volts, 24 volts, or 110. There is no app, so that's kind of it's kind of a negative. If you're using the app, if you're not, it's great. It doesn't do any temperature control. It's just 1 through 10, up and only, just pure heater functions. Has these great foldable handles, and they are fashionable. They got black ones here on the green, and your chrome ones here on the red and the white. I like these foldable handles. They do come in. One thing we'll see when we're doing the testing is it is quiet. There's no ticking. You can hear the fans, but it's just very, very quiet. It's very, very efficient. And again, it's very, very fashionable. So if we look at what's new in 2025 versus what was in 2024 models, is obviously the colors. That is one aspect, but that's not a technical thing. They did put a new fuel pump in that makes this even quieter than it was in 2024 and a little bit more efficient. They've got they told me they worked on the internals of this a little bit, and I did see some of that in my testing on longevity when we were on high, as well as the heat output. I mean, these things get hot. They've got a new muffler down here. We'll look at that when we do a walk around. It's very similar to what they have in the very high-end, like LF Bros that are $600. So very different than these old mufflers that everybody uses that are very, very cheap. And again, it's more efficient. So Let's get this set up for our test, and let's just talk about our schedule real quick. We're going to do a walk around so you can see everything with this. We'll go ahead and start this up, and we're going to use our Blue Eddy V2100 diesel heater so that you can see what the consumption is on a 12 volt. That is a 10 amp, but it will take these diesel heaters all day, every day. Then we'll kind of do a low test. You know, we'll kind of look at some of maybe how long it'll go, like we did in 2024 versus 2025, so you can see what that looks like. But then we'll also kind of look at a decibel reading, heat, and airflow, and we'll do the same thing on high, kind of go through the giveaway, and then we'll just do a wrap up. So with that said, let me go ahead and move this white and this green one off, and we're going to use this red one. We'll get this set up, we'll do a walk around, and we'll go ahead and get this kicked off. All right, so this is just a quick walk around of our unit here. This is the red one. We got the green one and the white one over there, and the old one from 2023. Got diesel heater galore out here. But if we just look at how this is set up, obviously you got your output. It does come with the feet. They are built into the unit itself. You don't have to put them, I didn't have to do anything to this. I didn't put it together at all, except for the exhaust on the side, which I do like. It is elevated. You can see where I've had some other videos. So you got your exhaust here, but they do have a new muffler. It's very similar to the WIPPROs. Be wary, and we'll look at this when we do our test. This thing gets very hot. We've got collapsible handles. We've got our display up top. This is what I would kind of think of as a negative a little bit. So you can't leave this out in the rain or anything, because this will get, I don't think it'll make it through it. They have done some changes with this kind of lip here on their fuel cap. I guess if you spill anything, it'll kind of come off the side. Got aluminum design. Got an 8-liter fuel tank for diesel. And then you've got a window right here. But other than that, that's just kind of the front. The back is your intakes. You've got your 12 volts. They've got the old leads here that you screw on, and then they've got a 110 plug-in that you can go either way. If we just look out of the box, and then you got your input here for your intake as well as for your fan input. We got it does come with a 110 adapter. It comes with the wiring for your 12 volt. I did add on the cigarette lighter that we use in our power station. It comes with some tubing, an old school remote, a diffuser, and then some clamps, and then a diesel heater manual, which I did not read at all. But that's kind of the basics of what comes with this. And again, you can get them in green or white, and this is it. So I tell you what, let's get this set up, turn on this, and let's do a startup sequence. All right, so we've got our plug here. We've got loaded into our DC 10 amp input. Hey, on these Blue Eddys, whether it's the Elite 200 that I'm using here or the AC 180, which was my go-to for years, the 10 amp works just fine. I have not had any problems with it blowing past that when we do the startup. You'll see that when we go over 100 watts here. This is going to go directly into the back of here. And if we look here, this thing is started up on our display. A very simple old school display. We can kind of see the unit. We can see stages. It'll show some animation. But for today, we'll just turn it on, get it going, and we will start with setting 1 just to get it started up. So it does take a little bit of sequence to get started up before it gets to the glow plug, which is one of their new advancements as well inside of here for efficiency. Now, without having a mobile app, you can't configure this as well. I didn't want to go through the stages, so we'll just keep it very simple today in our testing. We're just going to stay on low, we're going to go to setting 1, and on high, we'll go to setting 10. But this is kicking in. You can kind of hear it a little bit. And if we look on our display over here, it's starting to pull. We're at 95 watts is what's coming out of it. Let's let it kick in a little bit, and we'll come back when we start hearing the clicking for the pump for priming. All right, so this will be some of the only ticking that we hear during this video, and this is the priming of the pump. I didn't have to do anything, it just does it. It's like a thump, 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 thump. So it's starting up. Got some more animation on here. We got the glow plug going. We got the fan turning. And so these are some things that you can see how. And we'll start hearing the fan kick in a little bit higher. All right, you can hear it kind of heating up now like a furnace. Air is starting to kick up a little bit. All right, we're fully started up now. See here, we're just off and going. Got some air coming out, warming up, doing its thing. And if we look at our power station, we are at 6 watts, so very, very low. Let's give this like 10 minutes to get settled in, and then we'll come back and do some tests with how hot it is, how loud it is, and then our airflow. All right, we've let this run for about 20 minutes to get started up. We're pulling anywhere from 5 to 6 watts. Sometimes it doesn't show much, but just the consumption's very low when it's on low. Not very hot, as I'd expect to see. But if we looked at our temperature readings from 2024 on a similar unit, it was 215 degrees. If we take a look here, we are in, I don't know, let's just call it 300 degrees. It's kind of bouncing it around between 290 and 300. If we just take a look here, we are at 140. Kind of on the side, we're at, just varies, 168. Now, one big change is this muffler is hot. We're in the 190s, so it's a dark color, so it's hard to say, but it's hot. So very, very hot. Now, it's a diesel heater. It's supposed to be putting out a lot of heat, but this is significantly hotter than the 2024 version. The fuel efficiency on time is about similar, but it is just putting out a lot more heat. Let's look at a couple other things. How loud is this thing? So if we get close to it, if you put your head right next to it, you can hear a slight ticking, but if I am like a foot away, I can't hear anything. And if we look at our decibel readings, and we're at 55 decibels on low, so very, very quiet. And if we take a quick look at our flow, and we're about 15 miles per hour, let's just say, maybe 15 and a half. So good flow. All right, with that said, so pretty good stuff, and it's hot, very, very hot, but it's quiet, no ticking, very, very quiet. So it wasn't very loud last year, and it looks like the new fuel pump that they put in has really suppressed additional ticking that you would typically hear in these things. Even the best of the best, if you put your ear right on the unit, you can kind of feel the fuel pump working, and this is similar to that. If I put my hand on here, I can kind of feel the heat pump, but I can't hear, or the fuel pump, but I can't hear it. So with all that said, let's put this thing on setting 10 and get it running for about 10 minutes. Very easy to do. All we're going to do is take our setting, and we were on P1, and now we're going up to P10, and you'll hear this thing start kicking in and basically going from 1 to 10. The fan will kick in, and then all of these stages will move from where it was all the way up to the top once we get into the full heat mode of setting 10. And the fan is starting to increase, and we'll get a lot more value. I'm very curious to how hot this is going to be on setting 10. Let's let this go for about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll come back. All right, this has now been running for about 20 minutes on high. One thing I did want to note is we did do a test on low. How long would this thing go? And it did go 50 hours and 2 minutes. Now, shockingly, that's 5 minutes less than what it went in 2024 model, but we are running about 85 degrees hotter on low. So even though it ran about the same time, it's generating a lot more heat as far as fuel consumption goes, I guess. So that we're getting the same and getting so much more heat coming out, I guess is one of the efficiency things that they're getting out of the new guts that they put in this, as well as the fuel pumps, so some of the upgrades they've made. So let's go ahead and look at high. So we are currently running on 10, and let's just go to, we got our 10, we're across the board as far as where we're at, and you can kind of hear it. No ticking. And you just kind of hear the fan running. So, but let's look at temperature-wise. So in 2024, we were at 300 degrees. And if we look at where we are right now, we are about 390 degrees. So close to 400. Wow, it got really hot really quick. We look at where we are here. We are in the 250s. Come down here. We are in the about 200, 190, somewhere in there. But if we come down here, be aware this thing is hot. So we're in the 300s on this muffler. So the muffler's hot, so do be aware. Again, this is a diesel heater, so it's going to be warm, but it's really putting out some heat. If we look at where we are on sound-wise, about 68 decibels, so it's pretty quiet. And if we look at how much volume is coming out of this, so we are running at about 40 miles an hour, coming out at almost 400 degrees. So this thing's going to put out a lot of heat from how it's all set up. And if we look at what we're pulling here, we are roughly about 37, 36 watts that it's consuming, which is pretty efficient. So it says 40 watts here on the front, so we've been able to stay underneath of that. And one last thing, on high, this thing went 20 hours and 26 minutes. In 2024, it only went 17 hours and 11. So we're getting about 3 more hours out of this than we did in the previous model. So a lot of upgrades. So in this case, we're just going to turn it off and go through our shutdown sequence. Hold our power down. And so it's starting to slow down. You can hear it ramping down. These things need to go through a shutdown sequence. If you can see here, we're already pulling a lot more watts than we did when it was on high. It is actually going through and it's getting all of the junk that's on the inside and it is putting it outside. Just go through, the fan will kick in here in a minute. Let this thing go through its shutdown sequence. Just don't turn it off. Make sure you power it down. You know, it is amazing where diesel heaters have come from where we started putting kits together to these all-in-one units that are actually fashionable with multiple color options these days. It becomes very, very streamlined. From 2024 to 2025, this has made huge advancements, both in colors and the fuel pump. It's so quiet. Everyone knows the ticking drives me insane. No ticking, just completely quiet. Love that. Great muffler. It's quiet there, and the efficiency. We were able to get an additional 3 hours out of the high setting that we didn't get last year, but we're also getting an additional 100 degrees output. So this thing is burning hot. If you're using this, just be aware it is hot in every capacity. So very impressed with what WIPPRO's done. Again, this is $219.90 on Amazon. There's some links in the description below. And they had a coupon clip there. You can just clip and it'll get it down to $189.90, both in red, green, and white. Now, hey, I am doing a giveaway. So if you'll send me an email at robert@sherburnoutdoors.com. Here's my address. By the 31st of October, if you're in the North Georgia area, I'll deliver this to you or have you meet me. But just send me an email that you would like to enter for the WIPPRO giveaway, and we'll be giving away these in all colors. WIPPRO's been nice enough to send me extra stuff, so let's sign up for some free diesel heaters. So again, I want to thank WIPPRO for sending these all to me. Again, this disclaimer, they did send these to me. I did not purchase these, but I would buy these. These are great. No frills, industrial grade units that will just run and run and run and run. Couple of cons, you know, I really wish they had a better gas cap with more of the automotive grade with the threads on the inside versus the outside. No app, that's kind of a... But other than that, this thing is great. It is a tank. I used it all last winter. It went hard. So very, very impressed with what WIPPRO is doing. Again, links in the description below for all the different colors and discount codes to get to that stuff on Amazon. Hey, if you got any value out of this, please click that like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click that bell to be notified when we got new content out. Again, I am Robert with Sherburn Outdoors. Thank you so much for watching.